Hello there, Internet, Mogwai here, and I got yet another MTG Arena video for you guys today. Today we're gonna go wicked with rats, ladies and gentlemen. I finally built a deck around the one and only Wick the World Mind. Wick the World Mind is a legendary rat warlock creature from the Bloombarrow expansion. A 2/4 stat line for 4 mana, an ability that says whenever Wick or another rat you control enters, create a 1/1 black snail token, as you see right there, if you do not already control a snail. So you're not spawning multiple snails, you're just spawning one snail, and then potentially you're building up on it, because otherwise, if you already have a snail, you put a +1/+1 counter on a snail you control. But then there's more. Tapping 1 blue, black, and red mana and sacrificing the snail allows you to deal damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to each opponent, and then drawing cards equal to the sacrificed snail's power. Wick is a very interesting card. At first, when I made my first version of a rat deck, I wasn't quite brave enough to go down this path, because one of the things that comes to mind immediately is that you're locked into a Grixis color combination when you build a deck around Wick. And Grixis is not really the ideal color combination for a rat deck most often than not, even though there are some tools within red that can synergize with rats. After many bouts of experimentation with different builds, I've realized that Demir Rats is the best kind of like shell, but with Wick you're forced to incorporate red mana into the mix to be able to trigger the ability. So while the last rat deck that I showcased was more, you know, tribalistic in nature, and it featured a lot of the new rats from Blue that were introduced in Bloombarrow, this one is all about that virtue of knowledge. And yes, I've been covering it for, you know, dramatic intensity, surprise factor. Virtue of knowledge is back at it yet again. I have an addiction with this card. I'll be the first to admit it. Don't worry, tomorrow's upload will not feature Virtue of Knowledge. We're gonna break free from this, but goddamn, I just love this enchantment. I love designing decks around this enchantment. It's just, it synergizes with so many cards and magic, and there's just so many different builds that can stem from this, that I just adore it. As you guys know, Virtue of Knowledge is the 5-mana enchantment. If a permanent enters cards, I just slow down. If a permanent entering causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. It's like a tongue twister. Like, what the fuck, man? But you guys know what this card does. But what's important to note is that Virtue of Knowledge synergizes with Wick. And that may not seem obvious at first, but then you kind of start reading it, and it really kind of is, right? Whenever Wick or another rat you control enters, that's an upon entry effect. That means Virtue of Knowledge will be triggering twice. Whenever a rat is spawned onto the board, the snail will grow +2/+2. Virtue of Knowledge allows us to actually turn Wick into a legitimate win condition by accelerating the process in which the snail is growing, and then being able to sack it. Imagine like an 8/8 snail, sacking it, 8 damage to the face, and 8 cards being drawn for just 3 mana. That's just absolute insanity. And that's where we're trying to get with this kind of deck. So Virtue of Knowledge is there to really enable Wick, and also enable our other upon entry effects, because it turns out that a lot of rats have upon entry effects, and ones that can be really impactful with this sort of effect. We have Karamonix, the Rat King. I honestly just cannot build decks that are rat decks without this card. This card is absolutely amazing for the rat archetype, and really what makes this deck competitive. It's just amazing. A 3-mana 3/3 with Toxic 1, giving other rats we control Toxic, giving us an alternate win condition. But the important thing is when it enters the board, 5. We get to look at the top 5 cards of our library. Any number of rats that appear there onto our hand. I've had many instances in which this card just draws me like 3 to 4 cards on its own, and it's still a 3/3 body to boot. Like, what more do you want out of this? If this card was like more generic, it would be so broken, right? The only thing holding this card back is that it's really strictly tied to the rat tribe, right? But if we can make a competitive rat deck, then this card is just bonkers. Absolute bonkers. We have Lord Skitter as a 3-of because it's a legendary creature. Lord Skitter and Wick, even though they are perhaps some of the most important rats in the deck, because they're legendary creatures, we can't have more than 1 copy of it on the board, which is why we go with 3 copies of each. But then we have a full set of the Lord Skitter's Butcher. Lord Skitter's Butcher has that upon entry effect that it's flexible, and can work extremely well with Virtue of Knowledge for obvious reasons. But then we have a 2-drop here, and it's not one of the new rats from Bloom Barrow. It's actually an old, forgotten one. The Nezumi Informant is amazing in this deck. When it enters, each opponent discards a card. This seems to be one of like the worst versions of the 2-mana creature in black that makes the opponent lose a card in their hand. Because it's not targeting the opponent, so it's not triggering crimes, and it's not exiling the card, it's sending it to the graveyard. So in a vacuum, Nezumi Informant is probably the weakest version of this card in Standard, but it's a rat. And because it's a rat, all these things don't matter. Because that means that with Nezumi Informant and Virtue of Knowledge, we can trigger it twice, and that also allows us to really pop off with a card from Bloom Barrow that we're running as a full set here. The Splash Portal is a 1-mana sorcery that exiles target creature you control and then returns it to the battlefield under its owner's control, so it blanks it. If that creature is a bird, frog, otter, or rat, then draw a card. Splash Portal with an Nezumi Informant can be amazing. Splash Portal with Lord Skitter's Butcher can be amazing. Splash Portal with Charismatics can be amazing. And being able to respawn all these and triggering Wick again is also amazing. This card is fantastic, and it fits this deck like a glove. And it's also one of the main reasons why we also happen to be running an Otter. It's not a full rat deck. We got 2 copies of the Thundertrap Trainer, and that is because Thundertrap Trainer does the opposite of what Charismatics does in this deck. Thundertrap Trainer allows us to look at the top 4 cards of our library and selecting a non-creature, non-land card from among them and putting it into our hand. If you look at the deck, we have a full set of Splash Portal. We have 2 copies of 3 Steps Ahead. We have Bitter Triumph, Go for the Throat, and Log Goodbyes. Two of each, so 6 here, 4 here, 12 here, and then 3 copies of Virtue of Knowledge. All these cards, a total of 14 cards, 15 actually, math. A total of 15 cards in our deck fall into this category, which allows us to more often than not find that target with the Thundertrap Trainer. We can also potentially balance the Thundertrap Trainer with the Splash Portal, and this can be really important for aggressive matchups like mono red aggro, because against mono red aggro we don't necessarily want to be drawing more rats. We want to be drawing removal to deal with our threats. So Thundertrap Trainer helps us. It really patches this deck together and helps us significantly against predominantly, like I said, aggressive matchups. We have these sources of removal, spread out so we don't overcommit to one. As then we have a series of lands. We have the 3-tree city because we are able to generate a lot of rats. We can potentially generate excess mana with this land, and that can be extremely powerful. And then we have mostly 20 sources of black mana, as you guys can see here. But then we have a total of 14 sources of blue, which is really important considering we're playing stuff like Splash Portal and 3 Steps Ahead. And also, Thundertrap Trainer and Virtue of Knowledge. But more importantly for these early plays, it's important for us to have a nice density of blue spells. And then we have blue mana, rather. And then we have 8 sources in total of red, 4 Blackleaf Cliffs, and 4 Sulphurous Springs. And these are exclusively for Wick's ability. I found that running 8 of them is enough, because at that point of the match in which I need to resort to this ability, we will have found 1 at least source of red mana to allow us to go for this effect. Otherwise, we want the black source of mana out of these lands. And these distributions worked wonders for us. Mudflat Village in a rat deck. Don't really need to explain why we play this. And Restless Reef, allowing us to get a man land in there that can self-mill us, which can be... Why did I want to mill myself again? Was there a specific reason why I wanted to mill myself again? I don't quite recall, but we were on it because we want manlands. So yeah, let's end it with that. Put a lot of thought into this deck. Really proud of it. Recorded an insane session for you guys today. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but yeah, this deck puts in the work, man, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Magic the Gathering content. What do we do here on this channel? We upload new decks every single day, off meta decks. We don't play mono red, mono black cringe here. We make our own decks and we use our own brews to climb through the ranks. So if you want to see some variety in deck building, you want to see what Magic the Gathering has to offer as a game from a deck builder's perspective, then maybe you'll like what I do. And now I'm going to stop. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the matches. Leave a like for Wicked. The Wick. What am I even... I don't even know, man. Hope you enjoy the matches. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. Let's get wicked. Last Virtue of Knowledge deck in a while, I promise. Though I don't think it's the kind of card that you'll be like, I'm so tired of seeing this, you know? But, you know. This is a pretty decent hand. We have a source of blue mana. We have 2 sources of black, which is really important. We're going to lead off with the Dark Slick Shores, actually. Because we value blue mana more than red. Red is exclusively for Wick. Lead off with the Mosswood Dread Knight. What we're going to be doing here is playing the Nezumi Informant. Nezumi Informant hits them really hard when they've gone for a mulligan while going first. We're going to take the hit. That is not, you do not want to waste that. No, that's a mistake. That is 100% a mistake. We're going to go for Lord Skitter and get to work. They jumped the gun with that. I'm sorry, like going for a Lockwayne Scorn into a 1-1, like, nah, son. We're using our health as a resource here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time to get wicked. Wick, the world mind. With the 2/4 stat line that allows us to trade into the Mosswood Dread Knight. Oh yeah, that's desperate. You'd love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. I'm gonna play the Thunder Trap Trainer. I could copy this ability. Honestly, I'm gonna do it. Nope. Well, we found one. Yeah, let's attack with everything. We find the Splash Portal, which can be used onto the Thunder Trap Trainer. We want a land more than anything, so we can drop this Virtue of Knowledge. They develop a Sentinel of the Nameless City. Probably going to be using the map here, or not. I should have tapped the the cliffs. We swing again, and after we swing, we'll go for the Splash Portal onto the Thunder Trap Trainer. Because it's an otter, it will also draw us a card here. We find the land, beautiful. And we're gonna take another Splash Portal since we have the Virtues of Knowledge already. Let's drop that there. See, this is why I should have tapped, like, the auto tapper screwed me here. You should prioritize always tapping red before blue in this deck. Don't be like me. Okay. But now we're talking. Because now we can do this. Into this. Double proc. You know, we're you know, it is normal for us to miss at this point. But what matters is we found the Nezumi Informant with Virtue of Knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not ready for this combo. We're going to delete our opponent's hand, and it's going to be glorious. They're going to feel that greed very soon. They're going to feel that greed very soon. We're going to take that hit. Because you're going to have no hand whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to Puerto Rican. I can't even English. Let's tap you. Tap you. Stop tapping the blue mana. Oh yeah. How about we go again? Oh yeah. The power choose rat. We have a total of 3 rats, so we cannot ramp with this just yet. But we have access to double removal. And here I am asking myself, why? Why stop here? Why not just push through? And kill them. I just realized I had lethal. I mean, getting rid of their hand is important because they could have had some stuff. But yay. No, I can't math. I cannot math, guys. It's a problem I've had since I was a child. I'm just terrible at math. Alright, Lord Skitter, that'll save you. Oh, honorable Sudoku. Very. Gotta respect that. Teds will be our second opponent, as we have a 4-lander while going first, but we do have access to double removal. So it may take us a bit of time to get to where we want to with this kind of hand, but we do have answers to early aggression. It's not mono red we're facing though. We see an island. We see is it. I kind of just want to go for the throat here. I have another source of removal in hand, and preventing their exploring can slow them down ultimately. Let's drop that 3-tree city. We keep drawing removal, but next turn we're gonna be able to play Wick, so that'll be nice. And I'm gonna invest in these plays. Like I'm gonna commit to this. Just like denying their exploring, because I know how annoying that is. And if they're lacking mana, then that's really big. Now we go for an island, and we go for the Wick, the World Mind. We need rats though. We need more rats. A lot of good top decks here. A lot of awkward ones as well. There it is. See, that they would have picked up. They find that land. They go for the generous plunder. And I could deal with that. Make him discard a card with an Azumi Informant. Swing. Bitter Triumph. And we tapped 3-3 City there instead of tapping the Sulphurous Springs to take less damage. Okay. Never punished. Swing in. Okay. They can't attack with that this turn though, but it does. It is indestructible. Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna use Wick's ability, and I'm gonna sack the snail, which will allow me to draw 2 cards. Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's play you. Wonderful, wonderful. Look at this. Nazumi Informant just in time. Let's splash. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that value, son! Look at that value. This combo though, this diamond pickaxe into the Zoetic glyph is definitely an issue, but we have so much pressure on them. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna sack this, deal 2 damage, draw 2 cards, drop that Restless Reef, keep this Bitter Triumph in hand. Call that a turn. Take that hit. Slow and steady. Virtue of Knowledge. Keeping the Bitter Triumph open. And now they swing. What if they have some way to trample? What if they have some way to trample? I gotta play it safe here. I have other wicks in my hand. Because I have other wicks in my hand, I can do this. Okay, I need to think about how I'm gonna approach this. Okay, so tap you for black. Tap you. Tap you. Tap you. Keep everything in the back. Shut down! Shut down! Very nice game. Really showcased so many facets of this deck, like the Nezumi Informant with the Virtue of Knowledge. Even though we didn't combine it here, but the Nezumi Informant with the Splash Portal and Wick as just this win condition that will, especially with Virtue of Knowledge, man, like the slug gets big so fast. And I can just continue to sack it to draw cards and keep dealing. Like this game was a perfect example of what this deck is about. Good shit. Round 3, chemistry class. Yeah, I thought my puns were bad. Dear God. Yeah, we keep this. Okay, we need a source of black mana. I'm a little bit concerned here. If that island was a swamp instead, this hand would be super neat. But I also feel like just because I'm lacking one source of mana, I don't want to, especially when going first. Mulliganing when going first is risky, right? I think you need a good reason to mulligan when you're going first. And I think this hand, like me lacking a source of black mana for Caramonics is not enough of it. What the fuck? Okay, they mulliganed very aggressively. And I am okay. There we go. See, easy, and I'm gonna deal with that proactively on my turn because I can't react to them developing a land. So any source of damage, I'm gonna deny. And now you have Ward 2 life, and then other creatures control enter. If opponent lost his turn, whenever you cast a lizard spell, deals 1 damage. Okay, so it's an engine. All right, Caramonics. Costing us a little bit of pain, but definitely worth a look at that value, son. Look at just this. How do you make a rat deck without this card? Oh my God, man. Okay. It's time to get wicked. That sweet 2-4 stat line that matches up so well into 3-2s. Halting them down. They can't cast any of these. Beautiful. Actually, never mind. Well, they're gonna kill my snail. They killed my snail. Du, 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 du. Let's not use the splash portal. I want to find actual like value with it, even though I have it available this turn. I mean, they mulliganed twice, man. Like, obviously, they ran out of gas really fast. That made the game unfair in that sense, but it was also their decision to mulligan so aggressively, so I wonder what their hands were looking like to begin with. I don't know about playing Virtue Persistence with Lizards. I think Lizards play at a faster pace, and I wouldn't incorporate this card in this, but I haven't tried building a Lizard deck yet, so who am I to say anything? But yeah, we just, instead of just removing some of the threats here, we just decided to go on to making a bigger board than them. The 2-4 stat line from Wick is so nice. It's enough to really stop a lot of the 2-drops from attacking, and this game really showcased that. Let's keep going. Now, I gotta say, like, in these last few videos, I've been ranting about... I do it a lot because, you know, when you run into, like, mono black discard 47,000 times in a row, like, it's... You need some way to cope, man. And me just, like, venting about it is my way of handling it. You know, I don't have anything against people playing whatever deck they want to play, and I don't think you're a literal NPC because of that. Like, some people took the comment a little bit personally. Sometimes I'm joking, you know, I express myself in a certain way. Don't take everything I say to heart to that degree, would be my recommendation. But I gotta say, like, there's a reason why I'm talking about this. So far, we have not run into that. Like, we've actually been running into some pretty diverse matchups, and that's important to acknowledge too. Like, today's a good day in that sense. And I'm all for it, as we have a 2-lander here. We have 2 sources of black mana, source of blue as well. Red, again, red is only for Wick. So red is something that you do not need to prioritize at all. Like, you need to make sure you have black mana mainly, but also blue to enable our blue plays. Like Splash Portal. So I'm going to keep this because I'm going second. And because I'm going second, I have an extra draw, which enhances my chances of finding that 3rd land in the process, as we have double sources of removal. We have no turn 1 play, so we're going to lead off with the rest of 3. As we draw into our red source of mana, in case we need it, but more importantly, the black. That does not cost life. And there they go with NT, the Celestial of the Sun. Are they going to buff? Are they going to discard? I mean, they just discarded a card for that. And that card was a Fountain Port Bell. Interesting. I understand we're taking 1 damage. And now I'm gonna go for the throat. They may have protection here. They do that before actually drawing their card for just 1 damage. That cannot be correct. In what universe is that correct? I can take 1 more damage from this thing and develop a Lord Skitter, or I could dispose of this right now. But I feel like the momentum loss is really big, so I'm just gonna develop Skitter. The earlier I get this guy on the board, the better. I'm gonna take this hit 1 more time, using our life as a resource. And we're gonna play Wick. We're gonna play Wick, and now we have a solid line of defense here. They're running low on gas. Again, I have this removal that I have not used, and that could be a mistake, but my instinct tells me that I need to develop. I need to just take a few hits. Get rid of the generous plunder as they play another one. Okay. I'm gonna sack one of these rats. Scry 2 and draw 2. I could play the Nezumi Informant, but I feel like I definitely want to be killing one of these units this turn. So I'm actually just gonna do this. Okay. I'm gonna run my timer down here. Good hit there. No matter what, we need to kill this turn. They can pump up to give +1/+1, so a 4/5. We need to take down a 4/5. I actually think I'm gonna use Lord Skitter here. I'm gonna go for Splash Portal onto Lord Skitter's Butcher. I'm gonna respawn him again after I draw a card there. We draw into a land, which is nice. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna sack one of these and draw 2 cards. Draw a card. Okay, we do see the Bitter Triumph there. We definitely need that. But we also don't mind the Splash Portal, so we're gonna draw that Bitter Triumph here. We're gonna play this island. Okay, and we're gonna go for a Go for the Throat here. And a Bitter Triumph there. No, actually, undo that. Undo. We don't have to do that right now. And I'm gonna use Lord Skitter's ability to generate another rat, so I keep pumping up this. I'm gonna keep that Nezumi Informant in the back. They do have tap lands. I thought that it was gonna stop there. Discard a card, destroy the Generous Plunder. tap the treasure to do so. Discard Wick. And we shot him down! Come back, let's go! Level up! Day! With rats, baby. Oh, that feels nice. I wanted to revalue the game, but I clicked on the... Ah, good shit, though. Good shit. Like, I'm really happy with how we played that one. Because, you know, it makes sense to just remove certain threats early. But you also have to factor in, like, momentum. And being able to go Lord Skitter into Wick. And then using my life as a bit of a resource there, taking some hits. And then dealing with the board. Allowed us to put ourselves in a position where we stabilized. And our board was so strong that our opponent just no longer could find any openings. And that's why I took that line of play, in case anybody's wondering. Yeah, this deck is fun as hell, man. Let's go for that one. Alright. I'm actually not sure what this name is. Normally, I'm pretty confident I can recognize, like, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese, but... Japanese, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, this works. It's always nice to see a hand full of lands that has Charismatics to look forward to on turn 3. It's a really good opener for this kind of deck. Okay, we see the Reckless Lackey. We're gonna drop the Black Cleave Cliffs. We have Long Goodbye enabled. Seems to be like some sort of like pirate deck. It's not like your standard mono red deck, I think. But I'm gonna go with Charismatics. Charismatics gives us some card draw, another Charismatics, so we can just continue to chain here. We got Nezumi Informant into Splash Portal, which we want to time properly because they still have a lot of cards in hand. What the hell? I don't know who you are.
This up. Mirrodin.
Oh, yikes. Okay, chill. Relax. I'm gonna play an Nezumi Informant. I'm gonna attack their hand a little bit, and I'm gonna go for the Bitter Triumph, and I'm gonna discard a card. And get rid of that.
We'll never stop fighting.
Like, maybe I jumped the gun dealing with that, but... Oh no, the Forge is... No, I do want to keep this. Charismatics. More card draw. We connect. Splash Portal. Return the Informant. Attack the hand again. Restless Reef, and we're in trouble. This Urabrass Forge is a deadly card. Charismatics. Nezumi Informant into Splash Portal. Unless they have a shock here. They go face, okay. We have to survive against this. We're gonna take the hit. They're out of gas, and we have to make use of this. This forge is an absolute monster of a card, but we have to find a way to overcome it. Wick into snail, into swing. We can't fall asleep here. We gotta make use of the toxic from Caramonics. Go for the throw. Will not work on the on this, but it will work on something else. No, it does. It does work. Then I'm gonna do this. It's actually a Phyrexian. It's not an artifact creature.
This fight is for every Mirren who's fallen by my side.
Okay.
Here comes the avalanche.
6. Unfortunately, like, Virtue of Knowledge right now. Does not cut it. We have to. Keep targeting the instants. Spreading out. Spreading out is a way. Clear you. Face and face. 5 tokens. 5 poison counters. And blockers in the back. Block with Lord Skitter's Butcher. Go to 6. And knock him out! Let's go! Let's go! 5 in a row! Oh, we did it. We did it right again. Oh, fuck yeah, man. That's the beautiful thing about Caramonics. It's not just the value. It turns your rats into, like, the fact that they have Toxic. All of a sudden, it makes spreading out with a bunch of rat tokens really dangerous for the opponent. Because now I was just 1 attack away. Regardless, they could heal health. They could do whatever. But if we connect with 5 rats, regardless of their stats, it's over. I think we were pretty good on killing him through just... No, actually, I don't think. We have 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 damage. But because of Caramonics, we can kill them. Good shit. Good shit.